Hey friends, Martin here, host of Dad's Bedtime Stories, and before we begin tonight, I just wanted to let you in on something new. As a father, storyteller, and educator, I know how powerful and important reading can be. And that is why I've started turning some of my listener favorite series into full books. Many of you know that my Cards of Power book is out already, and I just released Wizardcraft 2.0, a polished and expanded version of the Wizardcraft adventure, following a character named Oliver, named after my son, as he's pulled into a digital world where he has to build a village, master magic, and face the Wizard King. So if you're looking for a fun way to get your kid excited about reading, check it out. You'll find the link in my newest episode, or just search for Wizardcraft 2.0 by Martin Gage. And now, on to the episode. Hello, friends from across the nation and around the world. I'm Martin, and you are listening to Dad's Bedtime Stories. Tonight, we're going to be headed back into the Dragon Knight series. And if you haven't listened before, this is a fine place to start because it's kind of an origin story of one of the dragons and their riders, the Fire Dragon. Now, it was really hard to choose the name and that sort of thing for the Fire Dragon and the Fire Dragon rider, but I ended up settling on an idea from Gavin, who's 12 years old, who thought that the dragon rider should be named Ash, and the dragon should be Cinder. So thank you, Gavin, for those ideas and for putting them on my Google form. If you have ideas about what should happen next in the Dragon Knight series, please leave me a SpeakPipe message or put them on the Google form just like Gavin did. Before we get started, just a little reminder that Spaceship and I have become music producers. We've been creating some songs from some of our episodes, which you can check out on Spotify and soon all other platforms. The link should be in the description below. And we're looking for your ideas. Do you have an idea from the Dad's Bedtime Story universe that should become a song? It doesn't have to be exactly an episode or anything like that. It can be sort of any idea linked to the universe, or perhaps even a brand new idea of your own. Leave me those ideas on SpeakPipe, and I'm going to pick one per week and turn it into a new song to add to the playlist. So please check it out. Please listen and let me know what you think in the comments or by emailing me at dad.bedtimestories@gmail.com. Now it's time to get as comfy as you can in that bed. Close your eyes and imagine yourself doing what the kid in the story does. Ash had never seen a clear sky. Over the volcano, the sky was always the color of old charcoal, smeared with smoke and ash. Even on clear days, there was sort of a gray haze that hung over the mining camp. Soot clung to everything. The wooden shacks, the rusted carts, the tools, and especially to people's faces. It clung to Ash most of all. By the time he was 10, his hands were as rough as rocks. His hair, which might have once been brown, was usually just black. Black with soot. Black with the fine powder that drifted down from the volcano. He'd worked in the mines for as long as he could remember. There was no before. Not really. He knew he must have had parents once. Everyone did. But he had no memory of their faces or voices. Just flashes of warmth. Flashes of smells he once remembered. In the mining camp, nobody had time for memories. You worked or you went hungry. Above the camp, fire dragons circled like hawks. Their scales were red and black, and their eyes had a strange glow to them. On their backs sat armored riders. People called them the King's Talons because they belonged to the dragon thief who had taken the dragons, taken the sky, and turned both into weapons. Every time one of those dragons swooped low, everyone on the ground straightened, picked up their tools, and pretended not to be tired. The riders didn't speak much. They didn't have to. The smell of burned rock and the memory of people who had disappeared were enough to keep everyone in line. Ash had learned that early. Keep your head down is what old Bren, the closest thing to a foreman and father figure, had growled at him. Dragons don't burn what they don't notice. So, Ash swung his pickaxe, he hauled his carts, and he kept his head down. It didn't mean he didn't wonder. Sometimes, resting against the tunnel wall, he'd watch the distant dragons through cracks in the rocks. He wondered what it would feel like to sit on one of their backs and look down at the world from above. Then the overseer's shout would echo through the mine and he'd get back to work. The mine was more home to him than any building. It had its own smells, its own sounds. Deeper down, the rock even grew warm under his fingers, and sometimes he could feel something that felt like a pulse in the walls, a deep, steady thrum. Ash didn't mind the heat. Other kids complained, wiped their brows, and cursed the fire dragon's mountain. He just felt comfortable. The hotter it was, the more awake he felt. One day when he was deep down in the mines, he felt something strange. It wasn't a sound or a voice, but it felt like a thump coming from deep in his chest. He froze mid-swing. His pickaxe hit the wall with a weak clink and slipped from his fingers. He felt another pulse, almost a pull, like a string attached to his heart that was pulling him in a different direction. Ash took a step, and then another. The pull didn't drag him so much as it guided him, nudging him down a side tunnel that almost no one used anymore. The wooden support beams were old and warped. The air was cooler, the walls unworked. Even the lanterns thinned out until he was walking mostly by a dull red glow coming from the volcanic rock itself. The pull grew stronger and deeper as he went. "What is this?" he whispered to himself, but nothing answered. The pull kept urging him forward. Eventually, he reached a section of wall that didn't look like the rest of the mine. It wasn't carved by pickaxes or blasted by charges. It looked sealed, like someone long ago had deliberately closed it off. Ash hesitated. Breaking rock without orders was kind of a thing that could get him in trouble, but the pull in his chest throbbed harder. He lifted his pick and began to swing, cracking apart the strange wall of stone until there was an opening large enough for him to squeeze through. On the other side, he found a narrow corridor with stone steps descending into the dark. It didn't look like another mine at all, but something carved by hands that knew what they were doing. Strange patterns ran along the walls, lines that curved like flames. The pull inside him settled into something steady, Ash swallowed hard and followed the pull. The steps opened into a chamber hidden far beneath the active tunnels. The air shimmered with heat, but it didn't feel bad. It was warm and comforting. At the center of the chamber sat a massive, glowing red egg. It pulsed with energy. He stepped forward. "Is this what I've been feeling?" he whispered. The moment his fingers brushed the shell, the egg cracked open with a flash of fire. The shell split with a sound like a log bursting in a hot fire. Lines of molten light raced across the surface, and shards of glowing red flew outwards. Then he saw it. Its head emerged first. Sleek and scaled, black and red, with short and sharp little horns running down its middle. Two bright orange golden eyes blinked up at him, and then a neck, a little body, 4 clawed feet, and a pair of wings. The creature shook off the last of its shell. A dragon. A very small dragon, but a dragon. Its scales glowed faintly, and trails of smoke curled from its nostrils when it breathed. You're real?" he whispered. The dragon looked him over. Then, in a voice that seemed to rumble in the room and in Ash's mind all at once, it spoke. "You are my knight," it said, as if stating the obvious. "Your what?" Ash said. "My knight," the dragon repeated, squinting at him like he was slightly disappointed. "My dragon knight." It sniffed loudly. "You smell like smoke and stone. Good. You seem to belong to the fire." "I've spent most of my life in these mines," Ash said. "No," the dragon cut him off. "You belong to me, and I belong to you. That is how it used to be, and that is how it should be." Ash shook his head, trying to clear it. Dragons didn't talk, at least none that he'd ever seen. "But I've never heard a dragon talk before," Ash said. "Oh, you're talking about the chained dragons," the dragon replied. "Their minds are warped in spells, their will bent to another. They obey a thief who calls himself king." The dragon's eyes darkened. "He does not speak for us. He never did." Ash swallowed. The dragon thief?" "Yes, him," the dragon said. "My egg was hidden from him, hidden deep behind the rock in heat and time, until a true night came." A true knight?" Ash said weakly. "I'm not a knight, I'm just an orphan and a miner." The dragon blinked slowly and considered. "You came when the call reached you. You followed the pull, you touched my egg, and the bond woke up. You are a knight." Ash opened his mouth to argue and then closed it again. Deep in his chest, that strange heartbeat had calmed, but somehow he knew the dragon was speaking the truth. "I will remember more soon," it said. "Dragons are born with their parents' knowledge, but It comes in pieces. I must eat." I don't have any food," Ash said. "Not real food, anyways. All I have is coal." "Coal? Oh, that will do nicely. Coal fire is one of my favorite things." "You eat coal?" Ash said. "Not exactly." The dragon hopped closer, sniffed the bag that Ash was holding, and looked up at him. "Open it." Ash loosened the tie and poured a small pile of coal out onto the floor. The dragon inhaled deeply. A thin stream of fire shot from its mouth, washing over the coal and lighting it on fire. Then, just as Ash flinched back from the flame, the dragon did something impossible. It sucked in a huge breath of air, and the fire bent toward its mouth in a rushing line. The flames streamed into the dragon, vanishing in an instant. The coal crumbled into gray dust, all of its energy gone. The dragon sat back with a satisfied sigh. Its scales glowed brighter, and suddenly, it grew just a little bit. "That," it said, "was excellent." Ash stared at the pile of dust. You ate the fire?" "Of course," the dragon said. "Now give me more." "Okay." Ash dumped the rest of the bag on the ground, a little bit worried about meeting his quota for the day, and again, the dragon lit it up, sucked in all of the fire, and instantly absorbed all of the energy, followed by him growing just a little bit more. That's better," it said. "Now I can think properly. My name is Cinder. I'm a fire dragon, and you are my knight. We have a lot to do." "How do you know that?" Ash asked. "Well, I know everything I was meant to know the moment I hatched," Cinder replied. "My mother's teachings, the old ways, the truth about the real bond dragons and knights are meant to have. And you, Ash, are ready to begin." "I don't understand," Ash admitted. "How can I be a dragon knight? I'm not strong, I'm not trained, Cinder snorted a ribbon of hot air that curled around Ash's knees. "You don't need strength. You have me, and I have you. That is all that's required." "But how does that make me a dragon knight?" The dragon flicked his tail sharply. "Stop asking and feel it." "Feel what?" Ash replied. "The fire." Ash just stared at the dragon blankly. Cinder sighed. "Very well, I'll explain it plainly. When a dragon and knight bond, a link forms between their very being. Through that link flows power, my power. You can access fire, heat, strength, armor, whatever your spirit is ready to shape." "Armor?" Ash asked. "Yes, armor," Cinder said, as though it were obvious. "It's instinctive. A dragon knight needs protection after all. Humans are built kind of frail." "But how can I possibly just suddenly have armor?" Ash asked. Cinder lunged towards him. He didn't leap to attack, he didn't roar. He simply threw his large, glowing body towards Ash in a sudden burst of motion. Ash flinched, throwing his arms up. His heart surged with a blast of panic and instinct, and fire exploded around him. Not burning him, but wrapping him. The heat condensed and hardened in an instant, forming into plates across his body, shoulders, chest, legs, arms, head, each piece glowing with cracks of molten orange. It looked like metal forged in the heart of a volcano, streaked with lava and pulsing like a living thing. Ash was, well, very surprised. On his left arm, a round metal shield appeared, smooth and blackened. When he clenched his hand, the center erupted with a ring of heat, making the shield even bigger. On his hip, something shifted. He looked down to see a sword hanging in a sheath formed of what looked to be cooled magma or obsidian. When Ash pulled it free, the blade hissed as lines of flame pulsed along it. He stared in disbelief. "How? This came from me?" he said. "From us," Cinder corrected. "You provided the will, and I provided the power." I look like the Fire Knights in those old stories. The ones we're not supposed to read. "That's because you are one." "But I can't walk out of here looking like this. They'll know I'm not one of them." "You don't wear it always," Cinder replied. "It only appears when you need it. When you're scared or startled, or when you call upon it." Ash looked down at his body covered in this amazing armor. This is incredible," he said. "And it's only the beginning," Cinder added. But then Ash's mind gave way to a more practical thought. How were we supposed to leave the mines? There are fire dragons everywhere. Riders, guards, patrols. They'll never let us just walk out. "Well, if the fire dragons are everywhere, then we should fit right in." Ash blinked. "You mean pretend we belong?" Cinder nodded. "We will train first. I will grow. You will learn. When the time comes, we walk straight out the front door." "You really think we can do that?" Ash replied. "I do," Cinder said. "The truth is, if you look like you belong and just walk with confidence, almost nobody will actually stop you." And so, the training began. Each day, Ash came back to the same area of the mind to meet Cinder, who, well, seemed to grow rapidly. Surrounded by coal and fuel for fire, it wasn't hard to get what he needed. They spent the days training, and before Ash left, Cinder would help him gather enough coal to meet his quota. "We start with the basics." He tapped the stone floor with a claw. "Make this pebble warm." Ash just stared. "How?" "Use what we share," Cinder said, tapping his own chest. "Reach for the link." Ash hesitated, but eventually closed his eyes. He thought about heat, the warmth of a forge, the feeling of the sun on metal, the burning air near the volcano's rim. He focused on the ember-like thrum he'd felt ever since touching Cinder's egg, and something answered. A ripple of warmth surged through his chest, down his arm, and pulsed into the pebble. When he opened his eyes, the stone glowed red. "I did it," he said. "That was warming," Cinder said approvingly. "Now, ignite." Ash tried again, this time reaching deeper. With a sudden pop, the pebble burst into a tiny flame. Ash leapt backward. "Whoa," Cinder chuckled. "Good, you have instinct, but instinct without discipline burns everything, including the night." For hours they practiced. Ash learned to produce small flames from his palms and learned to extinguish them. He learned to shape the fire into a narrow beam that sizzled against the rock, learned to concentrate heat into a small, intense point until stone melted. The more he practiced, the more it became like the fire already lived inside him, waiting to be claimed. But Cinder didn't make it easy. When Ash finally managed to send a clean blast of fire across the chamber, the dragon whipped a rock at him with his tail. "Now dodge!" Cinder barked. Ash dove to the side and the rock crashed into the wall behind him. "What was that for?" he shouted. "Training," Cinder said. "Again!" He flicked his tail. Another rock flew. Ash ducked barely, then another and another. Cinder increased the speed each time and trained the boy to move in the right way. "Stop flinching," Cinder called. "I'm trying not to die," Ash shouted back. "You won't," Cinder assured him. "Not while I'm here. Again." Soon, Ash was drenched in sweat, even though the heat didn't normally bother him, and his arms trembled with effort. But he was faster, sharper, and every time a rock came flying, the armor appeared around him more readily, forming with a crackle of molten energy. And each time it surrounded him, he felt stronger, faster, more capable, as if the suit of armor gave him increased power as well. They continued to train until the ability to create fire was second nature, until he and his suit of armor had become one, and until Cinder had become absolutely enormous. "I think it's time," Cinder said one day. How are we gonna get you out of here?" Ash asked. "That won't be a problem. Climb on," Cinder said, ducking down and waving for the boy to climb on his back. Ash did just that, slowly climbing up at the crook of the dragon's neck and grabbing a hold of two of his little spikes. "Perfect. Now, watch this." The dragon took in a deep breath and unleashed a blast of fire that was so powerful it melted the rock around them, blasting a huge hole big enough for the dragon to crawl into. The dragon walked atop the molten rock and repeated the process again and again and again until it finally blasted a hole through the ground. Ash and Cinder carefully climbed out of the hole and looked around. Everything inside Ash told him to run, but Cinder simply walked. Again, the key was to look like you belonged. Then he jumped into the air, spread his wings, and started to lift them higher and higher and higher until they found themselves soaring high up in the air, above the volcano, above the little makeshift mining village. Cinder continued to flap his wings higher and higher, up through the clouds of dust, up through the clouds themselves until they popped out on the other side. And the sun, for the first time in a very long time, hit Ash's skin. It felt wonderful. And somehow, not a single dragon questioned them. There was no reason to, after all. As far as they knew, it was just another fire dragon on patrol. Together, they floated on the wind and continued to fly until they got as far away from the volcano as they possibly could. They landed in a forest beside a lake. Ash took some time to wash as much of the soot off of his body as he possibly could. And when he was done, he simply used his inner heat to dry everything out. Cinder curled himself up on the ground beside the lake, and Ash laid down, leaning himself against the dragon. With each breath, they both closed their eyes, and they both began to drift off to sleep, to thoughts of new dreams, new adventures, and new things to come.